No food, juice, or eating protocol has ever been shown to cure cancer in place of treatment. I spent years as an oncology dietitian, and I watched diet do real work for the people I cared for. What it did not do, ever, was dissolve a tumor, the way surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, or immunotherapy could. I want to sit with you in the hope behind that question, because the hope is not stupid. It is human. Here is why the question feels so believable. You get a diagnosis, and suddenly your body is the enemy, and the treatment sounds almost as frightening as the disease. Then someone online tells you there is a gentler path. Eat this way, cut the sugar, drink the juice, and your body will heal itself. That story gives you back control on the worst day of your life. I understand why people reach for it. The story usually rests on a few real facts, stretched too far. Fact 1. Sugar. People hear that cancer cells consume glucose, which is true, and PET scans use that hunger to light tumors up on imaging. The leap is that starving yourself of sugar starves the cancer. It does not, because your liver makes glucose from protein and fat through gluconeogenesis, so your blood sugar stays in range whether or not you eat dessert. The tumor gets fed either way. What actually happens when patients severely restrict is weight loss and muscle wasting, and muscle loss is one of the strongest predictors of poor tolerance to treatment. Fact 2. Plants fight cancer. Also partly true. Compounds in broccoli, berries, and green tea show anti-cancer activity in a petri dish. The gap is the dose. The concentrations that kill cancer cells on a lab bench are far beyond anything you could reach by eating vegetables, and a dish of cells is not a human body with a blood supply, an immune system, and a liver clearing everything you swallow. A lab result is a lead for a future drug, not a prescription for dinner. Fact 3. The immune system heals. True again. Your immune system does patrol for abnormal cells, and that is exactly the mechanism modern immunotherapy amplifies with checkpoint inhibitors. The problem is that a clinical cancer has already slipped past that patrol. It grew because it learned to hide. Eating well supports immune function, and it will not teach a hidden tumor to reveal itself. So where does that leave diet? Not on the shelf. In the game, as supportive care, and the evidence there is strong. Patients who hold on to muscle and weight through treatment tolerate chemotherapy better, land in the hospital less, and finish more of their prescribed doses. That last part matters enormously because dose reductions and delays are tied to worse outcomes. When I worked with someone to keep protein up and manage nausea so they could actually eat, I was protecting the treatment that was doing the curing. Diet was the pit crew. It was never the driver. Now the hard part. The part I say plainly because kindness demands honesty. Choosing diet instead of treatment is not neutral and it is not free. It carries a cost measured in survival. In 2018, researchers at Yale led by Dr. Tochter, Skylar Johnson published a study in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute. They looked at people with curable cancers, breast, prostate, lung, and colorectal, who chose alternative medicine instead of standard treatment. And they matched them against similar patients who chose standard care. The group that refused conventional treatment was about 2.5 times as likely to die over the following years. For breast cancer, the gap was starkest, close to a 5-fold higher risk of death. These were often cancers we knew how to cure. The reason is time, and time in cancer is not recoverable. A tumor caught early sits in one place, and we have decades of data showing we can remove it or destroy it. Give it months to grow while you try a protocol, and it can spread to lymph nodes, to bone, to liver. A curable stage becomes an incurable one. The window does not reopen. I need to name something else because it protects you. The stories you see online are survivor stories by design. You hear from the person who skipped treatment and felt fine. You do not hear from the people who made the same choice and did not make it because they are not posting. That is survivorship bias, and it is baked into every testimonial feed. Some of those survivors also quietly had surgery, or had a slow-growing cancer that was never going to move fast, or were misdiagnosed. A single glowing anecdote cannot tell you which. If you are in this moment right now, holding a diagnosis and 100 browser tabs, here's what I told the people I worked with. You do not have to choose between hope and treatment. Take both. Get the surgery, the chemo, the radiation your team recommends, and then eat like it matters, because it does. Load up on plants, protect your protein, keep your weight steady, move your body when you can. That combination is the strongest hand you can play. Bring every supplement and every diet idea to your oncologist. Not because they want to say no, but because some genuinely interfere, like antioxidants that can blunt certain radiation. Food is one of the most powerful tools you have for getting through cancer treatment well. It is not a treatment by itself, and anyone selling it as one is selling you the most expensive thing in the world, which is time you cannot get back.